Hey guys, it's Chad with Above Ground Pros. Hey, I want to talk to you about how to drain your pool out, okay? Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about is what not to do, okay? A lot of times I hear customers will slash the bottom of their liner, put a hole in the bottom of their liner just to drain the water out, okay? Don't do that for a couple reasons. Number one, it's going to take forever for the water to finally get out. Number two, it's going to ruin the floor. It's going to wash sand away. Number three, it's going to make the sand underneath your pool soaking wet. And if you're draining this pool to change your liner out or whatnot, it's going to make the floor wet. It's going to make this job a million times harder for you. Okay, so don't do that. Don't slash the bottom of your liner. Okay, there's really three options you have on draining your pool down. Number one, if you have a main drain in the pool, you can cut your skimmer off, shut the shut-off valve, open the shut-off valve for just your main drain, put your filter on backwash or rinse, and cut your pump on, and it'll pump your water down to virtually nothing, okay? Now, not everyone has a main drain. So if you have a main drain, that's a real easy route to do it. That's what you can do. If you don't have a main drain, you're left with two other options. Number one is a sump pump. Now, you may know a sump pump by, if you have a pump for your cover, it's a little pump, a little bigger than your fist, that you put on top of your cover, you connect your water hose to it, and you pump the water off the top of your cover in the wintertime. That's a sump pump. You can use your cover pump that you have, or you can go to a rental store. I wouldn't recommend necessarily buying one. They can be a bit pricey. But you can go to a rental store, rent one anywhere from, I've heard them from $30 to $60 a day, and you can pump your pool down within the day, okay? Overnight. Return this thing to the rental store the next day. That's a good way to do it, okay? Number three is going to be the old-fashioned, throwing a garden hose in your pool and getting a siphon going. Now, the old-fashioned manner is you throw that hose in the pool, you suck on the other end of the hose till you get water, nasty water in your mouth, and then the siphon gets going. I'm going to teach you an easier way to do that. What I want you to do, so you don't have to suck on it, what I want you to do is throw one end of the garden hose into the pool. The other end you're going to connect to your spigot on the outside of your house, just like you're going to fill the pool. Turn your spigot on and start filling the pool with water. Once the hose is completely full of water, you can cut your spigot off, undo your hose from the spigot, and lay it in the yard below the water level, and it will create its own siphon, okay? The water will back up and it'll start coming out of the hose. That's a little trick for you so you don't have to suck on the hose and get nasty water in your mouth. Nobody wants to do that, okay? So those are really your three options. Now, something I want you to keep in mind is if you use a sump pump, you plug these things in, they're very simple, you just plug it in and it's going to pump your water out. If you're going to siphon it out of a garden hose, this is what you're going to experience. When the pool's full and there's a lot of water weight in it, there's a lot of water weight pushing water out that hose. You start draining water very, very quickly. The first foot of water is gone in a couple hours. And you're going to think that your pool is going to be empty really quick. But what happens is as the water gets lower and lower and lower, there's less water weight pushing water out this hose, and the hose has to pick this water all the way above the pool. So what's going to happen is as water gets lower and lower and lower, the siphon is going to get slower and slower and slower. For instance, on a 24-foot round pool, be prepared to take a good 4 days for your water to siphon out just using a garden hose. Now, if you put a couple garden hoses in there, it's going to go a little quicker. But one garden hose in a 24-foot pool is going to take about 4 days, okay? So, keep in mind, it's going to take a while. So if you're wanting to do a liner job or you're wanting to do something with your pool, give yourself 4 or 5 days to siphon this water out before you actually start your job, okay? Now, another tip for you is either way you do this, whether you use a main drain, a sump pump, or a garden hose, it's not going to drain the pool completely down, okay? It's going to leave an inch or two of water. It always does that. And in our liner change videos, we show you a real simple way to get that last little bit of water out of there, okay? All right, so that's how you drain your pool. For more above ground pool how-to videos, visit us at abovegroundpros.com, where we're dedicated to all above ground how-to videos.